Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Lowe, or maybe it's good evening. This is Mr. Lowe. Today we're going to go over our Unit 4 pre-test as a study guide for our test tomorrow. So let's start with number 1 very, very quickly. We're going to go through this as quick as we can. It costs $50 for to be a member of the soccer team. The team plays 8 games during the season. What is the cost per game? So we know this is all division. So what we are going to do is do 50 divided by 8. And I can put a decimal here. When I put a decimal in my dividend, I want to kick it to my quotient. And now we go ahead and divide. So 8 goes into 5 0 times. 8 goes into 50 a total of 6 times. Because 6 times 8 now is 48. I subtract 50 minus 48 is 2. And now I compare. 2 is less than 8. And I can bring down. I don't have anything to bring down now, so I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. And now I start all over. Remember, guys, we're using divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down as our little anagram to help us on all of these division problems. So now I say 8 goes into 20 a total of 2 times. So 2 times 8 is 16. Now I do my subtracting. 20 minus 16 is 4. I compare. Is 4 less than 8? Yes, it is. I add another 0, and I bring it down. Keep in mind, I can add as many zeros as I want to at the end of my dividend because it doesn't change the number at all, as long as I have that decimal point right there. So now we go ahead and we'll extend this bar out, and let's divide again. 8 goes into 40 this time, a total of 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. I subtract, and I get 0 as a remainder. So my answer for the first problem would be B, $6.25. So far, so good. Let's keep the answer there, and we're going to erase all my work so that we can start all over again. So now we have number 2 says, Sophia's new job, she earned $860.80. We're going to underline that. For a total of 50 hours of work. How much does Sophia make in 1 hour? In other words, how much money does she make per 1 hour? So that means we are going to divide again. So I have 860.80 divided by a total of 50. So I see my decimal here. Let's kick it up into my quotient, and then we can forget about it. So now we're going to do, oh no, I have 2 digits in my divisor. Has anything changed? No, nothing has changed. We're still doing divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down. And if, oh, only you could see me doing that dance just like you guys are doing right now. 50 goes into 8 0 times. I can't do it. 50 goes into 86 1 time. 1 times 50 is 50. There's my multiplication. Now I subtract. Let's see here. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 5 is 3. Is 36 less than 50? There's my comparing. So far, so good. And now I can bring down my 0. 50 goes into 360. Well, here is what I am thinking in my head. Let's see. 50 and 50 is 100. There's 2 more 50s in 200, so that's a total of 4. There's 2 more 50s in 300. That's a total of 6. Let's try 7 and see how that works. So 7 times 50. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. So 7 times 50 now is a total of 350. I'm going to subtract again. I get 0 there. 6 minus 5 is 1. That leaves me with a remainder of 10. And 10 is less than 50. There's my comparing. And now I bring down my 8. And I say 50 goes into 108 2 times. 2 times 50 is 100. I'm subtracting now, so I've done my multiplying. I'm doing my subtracting now. 108 minus 100 is 8. And now I'm going to compare. Is 8 less than 50? Yes, it is. And we'll bring down this 0 again. So now I do it one more time. 50 goes into 8. How many times? Once. 1 times 50 is 50. I subtract again. We have a 0 here, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So now I have a remainder of 30. And is 30 less than 50? That is true. Now we can continue, but let's go over here to our problem and check our answer. Looks to me like it's going to be 17 and 21, maybe 22 hundredths, or $17.22. So that rules A out, and it rules B out, and it rules C out. So there is my answer, $17.22. Now let's just go prove why it's 22. So we can add another 0, bring it all the way down, and now I have 50 goes into 300 this time, a total of 6 times. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. So I have 0 as my remainder. Now the reason why it is $17.22 is because they actually round. So they look at this number. The 1 is the one I'm deciding if it's going to go up to a 2 or stay the same. I look at the number to the right of it. It is a 6, and that's where you sing your little song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave it as it was before. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is raisin time. So this is going to round to 17.22 or $17.22. All right, moving on quickly to number 3. Let's go grab an eraser. And let's erase all of this stuff here. And we'll move on to number 3. Hopefully, I'm not moving too fast. If I am moving too fast for you, remember, you can always stop the play, or you can rewind it too, which is kind of cool. So we have number 3. There are 2,382 paintings in an art museum. 2,382 paintings. I want to divide those paintings up into a total of 124 rooms. And again, don't panic just because this is a 3-digit divisor. It's still the same process. We are still dividing, multiplying, subtract, compare, bring down. So, can 124 go into 2? No. Can it go into 23? No. 124 can go into 238, a total of 1 time. And I know it's 1 because if I doubled this and said 2 times, it would be 248. So that's a little bit too high. So now I can multiply. 1, 2, 4. And now I am going to subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And I compare now. Is 114 less than 124? Yes, it is. So now I want to bring down my 2. And we just say, hey, how many times does 124 go into 1,142? This is what I'm doing in my head. In my head, I'm saying 124 times 10. That's easy because all I got to do here is add a 0 on to the end of it. So it's 1,240. So it cannot be 10 times. Let's see if it's going to be 9 times. Okay, so I got 9 times 4, which is 36. 9 times 2, which is 18, plus 3, 19, 20, 21. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So now I'm going to subtract. Let's get rid of this so I can have some room here to do my subtracting. Do this, do this, do this. 12 minus 6 is 6. 3 minus 2 is, or 3 minus 1 is 2. So I have a remainder of 26. Now I got to go look at my problem here. It says, what is a reasonable estimate? Well, if I did my division right, which I'm sure I did, I got 19 as my answer. 20, letter choice B is going to be the closest answer to it. Okay? So that is my reasonable estimate for the number of paintings in each room. Excellent job, you guys. Go ahead and give yourselves a nice pat on the back for all the hard work you're doing. You are going to be ready for this test tomorrow. All right. One more problem on this page, and then I think maybe we'll stop or maybe we'll move on to the next page. So we got Alec rounded 3.37, rounded a length, sorry, to 3.37 meters. Which length could he have actually been the real length that he rounded? So what we're doing is we know that he rounded to the nearest tenths, hundredths spot. So I'm going to go down to my choices and say that number is in the hundredth spot. And remember, we're looking at the number to the right of it in all of these to determine what is the correct answer. And when we look to the right, I can eliminate letter C because it's 3.382, and this is 3.37. So I can get rid of that one. I can eliminate letter B or D too because this is 3.4, and we're really looking for 3.37 to be my choice. So it leaves me with A or B. Let's take a look at B and see why we can eliminate that one. If I'm looking at this problem here, number 7 is the number I'm trying to round. That's the one that's going to either stay a 7 or it's going to move up to an 8. If I look to the number to the right of it, I have a 6, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave it as it was before, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this problem would round to 3.38, not 3.37. That only leaves me with letter A as my choice. All right, so far you guys are doing great. Keep it up. I'm going to go ahead and clear this page and move on to the next one. Which of these numbers between 200 and 300 is divisible by 2 and 3? So I'm going to look at my choices. Are there any ones that I can eliminate right away? Yeah, I can get rid of letter D. Letter D is we're eliminating that one because it doesn't fall between 200 and 300. So now my choices are a little bit easier. I have to look at now, how do I know if a number is divisible by 2? Well, a number is divisible by 2 if it's an even number. All of these numbers are even numbers because they all end in even numbers. So they're all divisible by 2. A number is divisible by 3 by looking at the sum of the digits. If the sum of the digits are divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So let's take a look at this. If we did 2 plus 0 plus 8, it equals 10. Is 10 divisible by 3? No. So it's not going to be that one. If I did 2 plus 5 plus 6, what does that equal? 6 and 5 is 11. 11 and 2 is 13. Is 13 divisible by 3? No, it will not be that one. It has to be C. Let's just prove it just to be on the safe side. 2 plus 5 plus 2. Well, 5 plus 2 is 6. Or no, sorry. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So yes, 9 is divisible by 3. So 252 is going to be divisible by both 2 and 3. Nice job. Hopefully you guys understand that one. I think you do so far. So now we got number 6. Number 6 says Mrs. Hermensky traveled 114.1 miles. I want to divide that by 7 gallons of gas. So let's do our divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down. Let's see. 7 goes into 1. Can't do it. 7 goes into 11 once. Multiply that. 1 times 7 is 7. Let's subtract. 11 minus 7 is 4. And now I compare. Is 4 less than 7? Yes, it is. Let's bring down my other 4. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to kick it. So let's kick that decimal up. Remember, we can't forget to put our decimals up into our quotient. So 7 goes into 44 how many times? Well, let's see. 7 times 6 is 42. That gets me really close to 44. And now we're going to subtract. I get 4 minus 2 is 2. I can bring down my 1. Oh, I forgot to compare. Compare. 2 is less than 7. That is correct. So now I bring down my 1, which is good. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 3 times 7 now is 21. I subtract again, and I get 0 as my remainder. The answer is C, 16.3 miles per gallon.